Welcome to Faith for the Apocalypse. My name is Nick, and this channel is a space for us to talk about faith, politics, and whatever else we want. If you are new to the channel or if you like the content that I'm putting out, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel, share the channel with other folks who might be interested, join our Facebook group, all of that good stuff. Please help us spread the word about the resources that are here so we can find the folks who might need those resources. Now, today we have a very special vocabulary video as we examine what is equity anyway, defining DEI. So if you found your way to this video or you follow my channel, I probably don't need to tell you that DEI or diversity, equity, and inclusion programs are under attack in the United States. That has become crystal clear, I think, to just about everybody. And one of the ways that we can push back or resist this anti DEI movement is to fight against the disinformation campaign that has been happening about what DEI means and what DEI programs are meant to do. So today we're going to kind of break apart this vocabulary to figure out what these terms mean and what the history of DEI work has been. But before I get started, I want to put a little caveat here. You might be watching the video up to this point and think, oh my gosh, I know DEI is under attack. It's all horrible and terrifying. And I know what these terms are. I've been doing this work for a long time. And if that's how you feel, that's great. Please continue that work and share that knowledge with other people. But also maybe be thinking about how you can take some of the information in this video, not for your own learning, but to help guide conversations with other people in your own family, in your own network, or in your own congregation who might not have as strong of a grasp of understanding on these terms. So let's start our vocabulary lesson by looking at diversity, inclusion, belonging, and accessibility. Now, imagine that I am going out to eat and I walk into a restaurant and I see a crowd of people and no one's even moving towards the tables to eat yet. As I look around, I notice that there is a mix of skin tone. There are a variety of racial identities or racial groups that are represented in that room. That sounds like a diverse room. Diversity is the existence of difference, and all of these different identities show me that it's a racially diverse group. Now, as we move towards dinner, I notice that it might not be an inclusive space. Because you see, as we sit down, it's only people of my racial category who are allowed to sit and eat. Everyone else is asked to stand aside or is forced to serve the meal. The room is still diverse, the difference is still there, but it's not inclusive because we aren't including all of these different identities equally, right? If I want to be more inclusive, I could say, hey, let's bring some of those folks onto the side and we'll invite them to come and sit at our table. They've now been included in the stuff that we're going to do. But that inclusion doesn't necessarily mean that the people who have been invited to the table have belonging. You see, they were invited to someone else's table. It might seem like they have this favor. It's not their space. They might not know if they're wanted there or what to say or how to behave. This awkwardness exists because we haven't actually done anything to change the power dynamic. It's my table that I've invited someone else to. In order to create a sense of belonging, we need to move away from the banquet and move towards I think, more fun potluck idea where everyone is invited to come. The table belongs to all of us equally. We each can bring the dishes that are the most delicious from our lives and from our upbringings. You see, because belonging is about all of us being a part of one community where we can celebrate and share our differences. We have community because we are different, not in spite of those differences. But this party that we're having, this wonderful sense of belonging that we're building, is not accessible if we're having it on the second floor of a building that doesn't have an elevator. Sometimes, as we work to create equity or justice or belonging, we forget that we also have to pay attention to accessibility because the banquet isn't open for all if we have people who can't make it to the room. So that's our diversity, inclusion, belonging, and accessibility. But what about equity in that DEI? Now that we maybe understand diversity and inclusion a little bit better, let's look at that middle term, equity. Now, equity often gets confused with equality. So, I want to talk about these two terms and explain what they mean and encourage us to be really specific when we're talking about equality versus equity and to avoid terms like fairness, which can be used kind of to mean either thing and get the conversation a little bit muddled. So, let's start with equality. Equality means that everyone gets the same. For example, when I bring popsicles to the end of soccer practice, each kiddo gets one popsicle. If someone takes two popsicles, someone will go without, and that's not fair. Everyone gets the same amount of popsicle. I might contrast that to a situation in which equity is called for, like when I'm preparing dinner for my family. My partner has a very severe food allergy. So when I'm cooking for a large group, I always make sure to make him a very special dish that doesn't have any ingredients that he's allergic to. He's not getting the same meal as everyone else. It's not equal in that way, but it is equitable because he is able to eat and enjoy his meal and nourish his body just like everyone else is in the group, even though he has to eat something that's slightly different. America's history has been one of slowly expanding diversity and equity. We have a history of DEI initiatives, movements, and programs that seek to help our country become a more equitable and just place for all people, regardless of their many identity categories. While DEI programs are under attack, it is vital that we remember that DEI programs are not programs for some of us, but they are programs for all of us. They are programs and initiatives that promise that we all have that equitable opportunity. We all have the ability to pursue the lives and the future that we want, that we are able to do the work and become what we hope, just like the American dream had always told us. DEI programs are vital to each and every one of us. Now is a fantastic time to reach out to your representatives and let them know that you believe DEI programs are important and you are interested in how they will be protecting equity and equality moving forward. If you are interested in facilitating a conversation around what DEI means and digging a little bit deeper into the history of DEI programs, I've included a link in the description below for the What is Equity Anyway Defining DEI workshop, where you will have a scripted facilitation guide as well as worksheets for your program participants. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please pop back into the channel. I will be posting another video on Friday this week. And then we have our daily Devo videos that post every Saturday. Thanks so much. I hope to see you soon.